It's about time for your personal brand to start bringing in the kind of client and the amount of money that you already know you should be making right now. And it's not because there's not enough views or there's too many people on the market or whatever. It honestly comes down to this one thing: how irreplaceable you are in your market. Making your personal brand irreplaceable so that it can start bringing you your highest cash month yet. Welcome back to the Power of Personal Branding and Manifestation podcast with your host. It's me, Malika. Now, if you're not already subscribed to the show, make sure that you do that right now so that you never miss out on any episode every single week. It's now been 7 years since I first showed up online and started building my personal brand. And I can tell you, there are very specific reasons that makes it so that your personal brand can start making a lot more money and bring you a lot more demand. As some of you may know, I actually started posting content for the fun of it. I didn't even know that you could get all of your clients from that, or that you could even monetize your online presence to build demand or whatnot, because every single person that I knew was in their first year of college, and I was the only person who skipped it completely. And I was working at a gym for $12 an hour, and I was spending most of my time posting content online. But here's the thing: even though I did notice that posting content online was starting to bring me a lot more clientele, it was not consistent enough. And also, I wasn't still charging the rate that I truly wished to be charging enough. And it wasn't a clear formula that I could easily replicate. It was kind of just, oh my God, just show up and show up and show up, right? There was no clear path. And that's around the time that I started to make content my number one priority. Because beforehand, it was just this thing, oh wow, it's nice at bringing in clients. But then I made the switch and I was okay, I need to put all of my focus on this, because this is the main thing that's bringing in all of the cash, right? But I started to understand what kind of content and what behind my personal brand was genuinely making the biggest difference. I was getting a lot more traction. And that was also around the time that my boss at Sephora started to tell me, you look a lot less focused. You look a lot less focused. And I was, because sometimes I would be looking at my phone in the middle of my shift, which you weren't allowed to do. You weren't supposed to have your phone. Answering a bunch of DMs or inquiries or whatnot. I was not there. And I honestly kind of saw that as an opportunity to kind of remove myself. I think it's time for me to go. That's when I started actually attracting the right clientele consistently. And that's when it clicked in my head. When your personal brand is intentional, that is when it becomes irreplaceable. When you are at a point where I want to start making a lot more fucking money with my personal brand, you want to be known. You want to be the girl that the right clients come to all the freaking time, and they buy your program, they buy your coaching, they buy your service, and they refer you to every single person, and they're literally your dream client. They're the embodiment of your dream client, okay? That starts with number one, laying down your irreplaceable personal branding pillars. This is what it's meant to do, right? It's meant to take you from anyone could do this to you are irreplaceable, okay? Because the thing is, your high caliber clients, okay, they are never looking for the cheapest option. They do not care for last minute openings, and they are not attracted to fake urgency or discounts, okay? What they are looking for is the best option. They're looking for the thing that is 110% worth their investment, and they are looking for their freaking ride or die. That is literally the job of your personal brand, to translate that on your online presence, right? So that they know that, and then they're compelled to go with you. Because in order to get paid like an expert, you also need to be seen as an expert and someone that is irreplaceable. The first thing that I will say is that growing your influence will make you so much more money. Okay? And the reason for that is because influence breeds trust. Because people never buy when they are being convinced, okay? They buy when they trust you. And not just the obvious, like, oh, I'm good at this. Oh, I can deliver you this result. But actually like trust you as a human being, okay? Because this, not being an influencer, right? But being influential, being a leader, leading the way, being a thought leader, thinking differently than everybody else in your market, in your niche, and sharing that, like now you are a leader, and that makes people trust you. That makes it so that other people are willing to jump in your world. The real question is, right, like what makes someone else look at your brand and think, I trust her, beyond like the obvious things, like beyond the things that are like super surface level and that like everyone can tell, like, okay, you're good at this skill, you're good at this, like, but like what else, right? Being irreplaceable honestly directly ties to having undeniable positioning. And I do believe that like if you want to have a strong personal brand, you cannot adapt that belief of like there's nothing special about me, because yes there is, and you need to take that to your advantage. Like what is the thing that you have that nobody else have? Your personal brand is just like two sides of a magnet. The more that it can repel, the more that you can create obsession, right? And so that is the pull. But the pull is not created without some pushback, right? And so who are the people that you are excluding and cutting out that are not welcome, that are not for you, that are gonna hate your content, that are gonna hate you probably, that are gonna hate your work? Who are these people? And are you making it clear who that is not for? Because the more that you can create a push, the more that you can create a pull for that client that you want, for that client that like is literally looking for that. That is the magnetism behind your personal brand, right? Is being able to filter out the wrong people and filter in the right people. And that is exactly why your content has to be dripping in your personal brand. That is what I call you-branded content. You-branded content is literally content that is synced into your personal brand essence. It's rooted in you. It's rooted in what you want to be known for. It's evergreen content, meaning that it will always do what it's supposed to do, right? And so evergreen content is basically someone could watch this piece of content a year from now or like a week from now, and it will still be doing what it's meant to do. So the next thing, right? It is bingeable. And when I am speaking of bingeable, I think a lot of people often think of like, oh, I'm gonna do a part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's really not what it means. Like bingeable just means that they will see one piece of content and they will be craving to binge all of your other content, and then instantly after they're done binging, that already created enough demand for them that they're like, oh my god, like that is exactly the girl that I've been looking for. Let me buy right now. Let me go with you right now. Let me jump on your program right now. Let me book your service right the fuck now. That's what it means, right? It's like your premium clients are like looking for something very specific, and then they're able to see that executed so well in your content that now they're like, oh my god, okay, I need to jump in. Like I'm sold. That is the content that you get to use in order to intentionally, design your perception of that you want to have when it comes to your personal brand. When I started to pivot my personal brand, like it did take some time to build this new perception of like my personal brand, because beforehand it was more beauty and makeup and stuff like that. But the more that I started to rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat, like right, like now everybody thinks of me, they think of personal branding. Now, something else that I really want to bring up, because I think it's going to help a lot of people, and like usually this is something that I keep for my clients, but I will tell you, okay, it's that let's say you want to be known for something very specific, which is, let's say you have a service and it's like nails or makeup, or let's say you're a coach and it's like about like relationship, or maybe it's like even about helping women make more money or whatever. Okay. Like you cannot become known for something that broad. And I know that it seems like counterintuitive, like how is this broad? This is what I do, but it's too broad. And so like when you are thinking of your personal brand, you need to intentionally map out like what are the things that like people can really associate me with that are much deeper than just the surface level. Now, something that my brother used to tell me, just assume that no one will care. And that used to like crush my spirit a little bit. I used to be like, what do you mean? Like, why would they not care? Like, I want them to care, right? And like, listen, listen, might seem a bit rough. Like, oh my God, like, no one wants to imagine that no one cares. But the reason that it's also important to ask yourself, or assume that no one cares is because it helps you become a way better marketer. And instead of just assuming that like people have a reason to care, like you get to be way more intentional with how you show up and giving people a reason to care, right? Because I think automatically, like as business owner, when you're very passionate, when you're doing something with like your whole heart and soul, like of course you care. Like you care so much about your business, you care so much about the people that you help, you care so much about your clientele, about the people that you serve. But I think it's wrong to always assume that like other people care. This is the thing that makes a big difference when it comes to your personal brand, being this like placeholder versus becoming irreplaceable, which is what this whole episode has been about, like really being irreplaceable, because that is the thing that allows you to charge like an expert, to be seen as an expert, and to make the kind of fucking money that you already know you should be making. This is honestly amazing to get out of your own head and get more into the perspective of like your future clients or like your client's head, right? Because I think it can be so easy to be like super biased to your content and your personal brand and your online presence. You're like, it's so good, like why doesn't everybody care? Like why don't they care as much as I want them to care? Like whatever, but most of the time, like it honestly comes down to having this already perceived idea that like people have a reason to care, and also they have a reason to care about your personal brand specifically, when maybe they don't, or maybe it's not clear enough, or maybe your messaging is just not hitting them enough for them to care. And messaging is definitely something that is underutilized so much. I'm telling you, this is something else, because your high caliber women, okay, your high caliber client, she knows that she gets what she pays for. And so she doesn't need you to justify your price. She just needs you to speak to her primal desires, like her primal desires. And when you can hit your clients' primal desires, right? The things that like when you can formulate the primal desires and speak to the primal desires that are not surface level, you can put into word what she cannot in a way that hits and that checks off all of her boxes. Then now you've hit the jackpot with your messaging. Your presence matters just as much as your strategy. Have that like very memorable presence and have that like almost like mesmerizing effect on other people. If you've ever scrolled on your page and then you came across a video of someone that was speaking, and the way that they were speaking and their aura, it just made you like listen to the whole fucking video. That is the very thing that builds a lot of that obsession in terms of like your audience. That is also the very element that makes other people think, oh my God, like they go on your page and then you're like, oh my God, I literally thought that this person had like a huge following. And it's because of the certainty that they hold, like that CO certainty. Remember how we talk a lot about being in your highest CO frequency? Like that is it. When you are showing up in your content, that's what needs to happen. More and more natural, the more that you like create that like certainty within yourself, the more that you are validating yourself and your skill, and the more that you get comfortable like being seen, because visibility is the very cost of being in demand. Like you want to have a personal brand that has demand, that is making you so much more fucking money. Like that is the cost, is being visible and getting comfortable in front of the camera, speaking to the camera, not holding back on putting yourself out there. And if you would have seen videos of me from like 7 years ago, you would be laughing so hard, because the aura and the way that I speak, the way that I express myself, it's so different than before. I feel like before I was almost speaking very shy, like very like Hi guys, it's Malika. Not so much like this very strong presence. And the next thing that is directly tied to this is also to make yourself the main character. They are not just purchasing your personal brand, they are purchasing you. What is behind your personal brand? You, right? And when they purchase from your personal brand, when they go with you, they know that carries so much more weight than if they were to go with someone else. And that's exactly why they go with you, because of what it represents, because of what it means, because of what your personal brand means when they go with you. That's exactly when your personal brand can start making a lot more money, and it starts making you a lot more money because of the fact that like you are now utilizing yourself as a main asset. All of you that are watching, that are tuning in into the podcast, like I know you are a main type of girly, like you are a main character energy. The only question is more like is it apparent from the outside, right? Like not just when the person is with you and everything, but like what does your name carry? Like, you know, like what is the reputation that your name carry, like, and everything. And that also ties right back into like the in building that intentional perception around your personal brand. It's actually like, holy shit, like I need to binge that content. I need to buy into your world. I need to be in your world. I need to be around you. I'm literally going to invest and go with your program, your coaching, and your service, because that is exactly what I've been looking for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is also directly what ties into having an irreplaceable personal brand. And when you have a truly irreplaceable personal brand, trust me, you will know, because the demand will be there. The price that you are charging will have no issue. And also your personal brand now gets to make you so much more money because it breeds trust, it breeds influence. It has that like branded content that is branded to you, where you are the main asset and where you are positioning yourself the best way for your premium clients and the high caliber clients that you actually truly want to work with and want to have more of. Now, I hope that you absolutely love this episode. If you are not already, do subscribe to the show. There is a new episode every single week. If you have a friend that would absolutely love to hear about this conversation, then definitely send it to her, send it to a friend or a family member. And I will meet you here next week. So stay amazing. Thanks so much for tuning in. And don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes. And I will meet you here next week.